This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I think you can say statement made from the Houston Astros as they sweep the Philadelphia Phillies, taking them out today 2-1 the final as the Astros improved to 48-33 on the season with another dominant performance up and down the day from the pitching staff outside of finally giving up one run in the series and getting clutch there late from Cam Smith to win the baseball game today and knock Philadelphia back out of Houston, as they always come to Houston and find a way to lose because, well, 2022 is on the scoreboard. Hello and welcome this afternoon to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I'm your host, Michael Connors. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you as always. Make sure that you're here after every game. We're live with you when the Astros win or lose. And guess what they've been doing a lot of lately? Winning. As I mentioned, 48-33 on the season. And we got a lot of things we want to go through. We want to go through the sweep as a whole, the pitching staff, and then take a look at the Cubs series that's coming up this weekend. But yeah, I think the first thing that stands out from this series is they just went through 3 games against one of the best teams in baseball, and they held them to one run. One run across 3 games. Hunter Brown, tremendous today. Pitched like an ace. Got through 7 innings. Gave up just 3 hits. Struck out 9. You know, we've talked about Brian King a little bit recently. He wobbled a little bit last night. Got out of it today. You know, gives it up. But Brian Abreu does his thing. Gets the win for the Astros today out of the bullpen, strikes out 4 in his 4 batters faced. I think it's about as good as you can get when you come in. And then I can mention Cam Smith doing his thing of getting clutch with a line drive. That's been one of the encouraging things from the season so far is, you know, Cam Smith is a rookie who's had plenty of rookie struggles. But when the moment comes for Cam Smith to deliver something, the guy delivers. And he did it again. I think you could go through this series and look at this series and probably be, you know, I'm sure that there's some of you out there that are going to be in the comments. They're like, I wish they scored more or whatever. Okay, great. The other side of it, Philadelphia is really good at pitching too. 3 days in a row, their starter, and that's what they have to be most, you know, frustrated with is 3 days their starter came out and was fantastic. Ranger Suarez was fantastic in game 1. Zach Wheeler was awesome last night. And Sanchez today was phenomenal. 11 strikeouts across 6 innings. And didn't matter, because the Astros pitching was just better. Colton Gordon was fantastic last night. The bullpen behind him was fantastic, and Fromber was fantastic. I mean, again, you can have concerns and worries and everything about the baseball team and, you know, are they able to get better consistently on the offensive side of things? But here's the truth of it. I mentioned it last night. It was the headline of our show. We mentioned it quite often. This team is elite at run prevention. Absolutely elite. There might not be anybody better. That's the question I have today. You can throw it there in the comments. Is this the best pitching staff in baseball? And I keep going back to it. It's even more impressive that they're able to do this considering how many guys have been hurt this season. Every single day it feels like they've got something new. I mean, it's been a while since they've had something new, but you know, they've had guys in and out. The only mainstays really have been, and you call Gusto a mainstay at this point, but Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez. And the other guys have come up, and they've become mainstays now since they've been here, and they've pitched so incredibly well to give you a chance basically every single night. But, I mean, it is truly insane how great this team has pitched. And it happened again today. You know, part of me was like, going into this one, kind of like I was yesterday, like, hey, you know, it's hard to win 3 days in a row against a really good team, 2 really good teams going at each other. And, you know, it's another tough pitching match. The Astros will definitely have their best out of their pitcher. I was confident in that, Hunter Brown. But can you pull it off 3 days in a row? And there you go. I mean, it happened. They did it again. They repeated what they've been doing. You know, we talked about it a little bit last night. Like, there's going to be a point in the season again where they, you know, they have a lull. You're not going to play this well every single day. And that's okay. to acknowledge that. And the offense had a lot of really good moments before this where they had been red hot and put up a bunch of runs and whatnot. So, it's not like they have been bad offensively. We also do know that, look, this team offensively is probably going to be a little bit more inconsistent than most of the Astros teams that we've seen in years past. We've gone over that quite a bit. That's okay. It's a lot to put on your pitching every day to do it, but I don't think that this series was any indication of the offense at all. This series was the offense going against elite pitching on the other side. And again, the Astros pitching on their side was even more elite. And it continues to be about as, honestly, probably better than anybody in baseball. And I think when you just go through the American League and look at the teams that are contenders, it's going to come down to, based off the way that they're playing right now, the two best teams in this league are the Astros and the Tigers. And, the Yankees are back there too. Tigers have some dudes with some stuff, and they got maybe the best pitcher in baseball. And I say maybe because there's two guys in the Astros that could probably make that argument as well, in school. The Astros have better pitching than the Yankees. The Yankees have two good starters. They have one elite starter in Max Fried, and then Rodon has been a lot better. But behind that, they don't have anything that scares you any bit. Tampa, I can't keep forgetting Tampa. Tampa also can just always pitch their backsides off. But I think you look at that and you just go across to the National League. There's no team that pitches better than this team every day. That's why they're here. It's why they keep doing what they're doing, putting up games like this. And again, like I said, this is playing a team in Philadelphia that they were really coming into this one. You're hoping to get 2 out of 3 against, and you sweep them. It's a massive statement to make. It's a big, 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 big start to the weekend. Look, you've already set yourself up for winning homestand. You're going no worse than 500. You've got the Cubs in this weekend for 3. Let's get greedy. Why not take 5 of 6? And this team continues to be elite at home. Something else we've talked about it a little bit, but they have. I'm telling you, it's so bizarre. After a couple of years ago, where they were just so freaking bad at home, and they're great at home. Apparently, James just came over from the Locked On Phillies show where they are in shambles. I don't know who the Locked On Phillies guys are. I've not met them. I'm sorry for them. But here on the Locked On Astros channel, we're good. We're good. The Astros just swept the Phillies. And like I said, if you're a Phillies fan, you got to be like, oh my goodness, our pitching was actually phenomenal. Because the Astros only scored, 3, 4, 6 runs in this series? 6? Across 3 days? They won all 3 games. Oh, it's absolutely wild. Let's take a look at that Cubs series, that's coming up this weekend at home, and we'll talk about the importance of it and continuing this role here next on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, though, I want to tell you about Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trade, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. One more message before we get back to our Astros discussion on the win today over the Phillies. FanDuel. Summer sports in full swing, and whether you're into baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get on the game while your friends are getting sunburned on the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast payout, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Locked On Astros Postcast after another win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. I'm Michael Connor, your host. Stros now 48-33, 15 games over 500. Again, for a team that earlier this season was hovering around that 500 mark, and it just felt like, can they ever get above it? And then can they ever, hold on to being above 500 and then, not keep doing this back and forth thing? 6-game lead in the division over the Mariners, 7.5 over the Angels. The Rangers are 8. The A's are 16. So right now the Astros in a good spot in the American League West. Keep doing your thing and hopefully build upon that lead or hold on to where it is right now. This weekend, the Chicago Cubs coming to town. Another team that is good. Another team that is gettable. They've played some baseball recently. It's been, good and bad. They're kind of up and down. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see, how Kyle Tucker performs back in Houston. Ryan Presley, if you have not paid attention to what's going on with him this year, he's basically pitching in the 6th inning now for the Cubs. It's been bad. You feel bad for him. He is an Astros legend with how well he pitched here. But he quickly, pitched his way basically out of that closer's role. Overall, I think he's had a few saves. I'm just trying to pull up. He's got 5 saves on the year. And he might have one recently, actually. He has one a couple weeks ago. But he's pitching a lot in games that are, 6th, 7th, 8th inning now instead of pitching in the 9th. But the reception to Kyle Tucker, of course, will be tremendous, I'm sure. It's the guy that caught the final out, the 2022 World Series. He's an Astros legend as well. So we'll see how that goes. You got to take 2 out of 3. Simple as that. You're the home team here. You're one of the best teams in the league. You're pitching your butt off. Might as well go ahead and take care of business, right? Keep doing what you've been doing. And if they continue to get the pitching that they've gotten out of this team in recent days, well, guess what? I like their odds of course, winning the series against the Cubs. And then, hopefully, look, I'll get greedy with it. How about a little sweep? Brandon Walter, Ryan Gusto, Fromber will be the starters in this one for the Astros. Horton, Ray, and Tyone for the Cubs this weekend. 7:10, 6:15, and 1:10. We'll be live with you after every single game this weekend between the Astros and the old NL Central rivals, the Chicago Cubs. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk again tomorrow night after Astros and Cubs on the Locked On Astros Postcast.